So I'm having a little bit of cold, so I will try to save my voice as much as possible. So we're going to continue with this API thing. Did it work out well with the tutorial you had this morning?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't come that far in it. I bumped into some problems, so
Okay.
I continue with it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I know some of you had problems, so we're gonna have a look on that after the meeting, so you could continue. So we're gonna start a new project. I'm gonna share my screen right away. And I'm gonna create a new project from scratch. And remember to choose the correct one. Someone was choosing the wrong one. This is not the correct one. You should have this with the API. So this is the correct one. And I'm gonna name it API. I'm gonna say entity framework in today's date. Gonna add this to the Teams later on. So we just continue here with next. I do not choose anything special here, just create, keeping the default settings. And this should be the one. So we are back to this same thing as we had this morning. And now I realized I could use that project actually, because this is the same. So it has this weather controller. I'm gonna leave it there, so I'm not gonna do anything special about it. What I'm gonna do now, I want to add like one own model for this. I want to have cars, so we keep that red thread with cars. So I'm gonna create like one. I could do it. Did anyone has something to say? No. I could like start adding a folder, for example, here. So I could name it model, for example. So it could be a good habit to have like starting separating things in your own folders. So I'm going to create one class inside here. And I'm going to call it car. And we're going to do the same as we've been doing before with the with these things. So let's see my notes here. Yeah. So we're going to go for this properties. I use this Visual Studio way to get it a little bit faster. I'm going to create one ID. We're going to use Entity Framework. So I'm going to have this ID, and then I'm going to add like this model, brand, and year, like we used to have before. And we have this string model, and we have this year. Just to have some data in the database later on. So I also want to have a database context. DB context that is using the entity framework. We could start to add like the correct packages also, because I'm gonna need the entity framework. So I will go to the manage new get packages, right clicking on the inside the project. And I'm gonna search for, let's see what it's suggesting for me. Entity framework core, yeah, it's suggesting version 6, which is the last one or latest one. I haven't installed the latest Visual Studio, so I'm not able to use this version 6. So I'm gonna go for the latest version 5. Those of you that has the latest Visual Studio 2022, you could use version 6. So I think from next week I will also change and upgrade to the latest version of Visual Studio. So maybe we could run with that later on. So I'm going to install this one, Microsoft Entity Framework Core. I also going to add these tools and SQL Server parts of this. Let's see if I can find them by those popular ones. No, better be searching for them. So for SQL Server. Yeah, that's the one. And taking the version 5. And finally, the tools part of that also. Not that core tools, it's the Microsoft Entity Framework core tools. And version 5 of that also. So we will have the base package here now. So I'm going to create a context also. I could create a folder for that also. New folder, call it context. This is not a must, but I'm doing it right now like this. So I'm going to add this class here. I'm going to call it equal context. And you remember the vehicle context had a few things inside that were needed. It will inherit from the DB context. DB context, now it's not letting me get it automatically because I need the using part of it. Using the core. Like that. And then we have this configuration string. We've been doing it also a lot of times, so I want just gonna do a copy of that one. Previous project. I'm gonna do it with 1209. If anyone wants this code part, I could add it to the chat. I'm gonna also do this DB set, so we have DB set, and we're gonna have the car, and we're gonna call it cars. It's complaining about cars now because it doesn't have the namespace for it, so I'm gonna use the model section there, and just do get set it. Come on. So this, I will add this to the chat if someone wants it. If you are coding along, maybe you could use it.
Yes, please, Matt.
Oh, okay, I will do that. And you know, when you are sending code in the I'm gonna show you when you're sending code in the chat, you could choose something called I don't know if you have English or Swedish, but I have Swedish code avsnitt, and you could tell that this code is C#, for example. So when you paste it in, it will look like it's coming from the code with this coloring and so on, so it's easier to read. And just you will have it in the chat. So, because sometimes when you send code to me, you send it right away inside this chat window, and sometimes it's difficult to read. So try to use the code part for that if possible. So this is the DB context. We are ready to create a database. We're gonna later on do this connection string on another way. But we're gonna start with that from next week. So doing dependency injection. So it means you inject something from another place to this. But we come to that later on. So you could still use this. Yeah, package manager console, add migration. Add migration, and I'm just gonna call it init. Have I forgotten something, or is everything all right? So we have the migration successful, and we're going to do this update database also. And run that. And now we most likely have a database with today's date. So we could have a quick look here. It was vehicle, something with vehicle, entity framework. Maybe I need to do a refresh just to make sure that it's existing now. What? Didn't I name it vehicle? I'm getting, I need to check the vehicle context, what name I gave it. Web API. Okay. That was another thing. So here I have something. And I have this migrations table and the cars table. And this should be empty. You see that it's empty, so at least we have a database now. So the next part for us is to add a controller, the part that is used to connect to this API. So I'm just going to right click on the controllers and add controller. And you need to check that you get the right one here. You see it's coming on this MVC controller as default, so you need to choose the API controller. And I'm going to choose the API controller with actions using entity framework. So I get this entity framework parts right away. So remember to choose the API. And it will ask for a model class. I have my car. It's asking for the database, the data context. And we have the vehicle context. And the controller will be named the cars controller. That's okay for me. So I will just press add here and hope that it's working. I'm going to close my window. The door is. So I think that's better. Okay, nothing to complain about. So I get a new file now on the controllers named cars controller. And this cars controller, it has a lot of methods now inside here. You will see that they are not exactly like the methods we have been using before. So you see with this get cars, the method name of get cars, it's a lot of things here in the first part. So they are using something called async. So it's a asynchronous call. So it's waiting for the call to be ready, and it's running an action result as a task. So this is all parts of this async thing. So, and enumerable, that's some sort of a list. So what is happening here? It's returning a list of cars actually. So if you see this, what it's doing inside this method, you see it goes for the context, it's the database, and it goes for the cars table and to list async. So we have been using to list. So this is the same, but for the asynchronous async. I cannot spell that word. So it's waiting for the operation to be ready. So then it returns the data. And you will see that this it has a lot of other methods. It's one called get car, and that is just returning one car. There is something called put car. This is actually the update part. So we are sending in a car object and an ID here. So it's doing the work, and you will see that you recognize all the commands with context. Save changes you have been seeing, but now we are using async, save changes async. And what you also see is post, that is create. It's posting a new one and adding to the context and saving the changes. So it's returning something also to the user of this operations. So it normally returns some sort of information how it went. So we'll see it soon when we start using Swagger and Postman. So you will see how it's working. But this is all the crude things are done here now inside here. So we could do everything with this create, read, update, and delete. We also need to tell the configuration that we have using a database or a DB context. So we need to go for the startup file. And inside here, we need to add the information about the context. So we're going to tell it like this. We're going to use services. And we're going to say add DB context. And we're just going to tell which context we are using. So this will be the vehicle context. It doesn't find it because I have not vehicle context like that. I will add the using section here. So it has this namespace for where the context is located. So like that. So now we have been telling this web API that we are using. We're using this vehicle context, and we also have this cars controller. So let's try it and see what's happening when we're starting this. As you see, we haven't done really much actually. We've been adding a car class. We've been adding the DB context. And we added, we've done this migrations and update for the database. And we added the cars controller. And made a small change in startup, or then added something to the startup. So let's see and start it and see if we get something to work. I'm checking the chat at the same time, nothing. So we're getting the Swagger page, hopefully here. So now you see this Swagger is checking this API, what it's containing. So we actually get for the cars and the weather forecasts. So you can have many controllers inside this API. So this is actually, we don't have anything inside the database yet, but if we check this get, for example, and try it out, and just do an execute. Do you see the data down here is just example data, but when I do the execute, it's returning, you need to check on this code. It's returning a code 200. That means it's okay. That's a success. So this is an HTTP code. So there are different codes for this. Some of you already seen, I've seen from the examples you had like 400 and 500 code errors. So this means something is wrong. And you see this is returning something also. There's a response body, but you only see 2 brackets inside here. And this is an empty JSON. So this is an empty thing. So this means it's okay. It's been going to the web API, and the API has read all the cars from the database and returns what it found. So this is an empty, found nothing actually. So this is working. We could do a post, so we could maybe see if we could add some data. And you will see we get a request body suggestion here we could use. So I could do it like Volvo here, 244 GLT. And I could add a year here also. The ID is not necessary actually, because its ID will be created on the server side. So we could try it actually if this works, see if it works. So we added like the Volvo 244 and the year. So if I do execute here, I hopefully get the response. And I get the response 201. And I think that means it's created. So it's, but when I get to 200, meaning they are okay. So you see it's returning here what it's created also the Volvo, and you see it's having an ID here also. So if you check in the database also, do a refresh on this. And checking the cars again here. I need to do a refresh here also because it's still having the same tab. And you see, I have one Volvo inside here, and the ID is number 1. So if we go back to the Swagger here, we could do also the get. Well, it's not necessary actually, but we could try it also. It's specific with one ID. So if I want for the ID number 1, it's the only one that's existing in the database. You see that I get a response here. I get the code 200, and I get our car from the database. Put was the update. And we need to have an ID and a body when we are doing update. So we had like, if I'm going to tell that I want to update a Volvo, I need the ID. I could have the ID here. I could still say that this is a Volvo, but maybe another Volvo and another year. So this, you will see the URL up here. This is adding to the URL that we have been using. You will see it more specifically inside the Postman that we're going to do after this. I'm just checking these Swagger things as they are. So I'm trying to update the Volvo now with another model and another year. And you will see I get a 204 now. That's also okay. And it's not returning any data. It's just saying 200, 204, it's okay. So it means it has been updated. So we could have a check in the database also to see it. I do a refresh here. And you will see that model and years are changed. So we go for the final delete here. And it's just requiring the ID of the delete. So I'm going to do execute here. And I get the 204 here also, meaning it's okay. So the request was successful. We could check the database to be sure that it's true. I'm going to do a refresh, and you see we have no data inside. So this is with the Swagger, and then if you're going to run with the Postman, you did get Postman from this tutorial with the link, or you had a link from the Teams also. So it's a great tool. It takes a few minutes to get used to it, how to get it to work. So you're like, it's possible to add collections and things like that. You will see that I have, actually I could try to do a new collection. And the collection name could be the thing we are doing today. Cars state. So you could see how we could use this. And I go and I do create. I will try to close this one so we don't mix them. So this is an empty collection now I have here. And what I want to do now is I want to use this URL that is for this. I can have a look on the Swagger page for the URL. We can take the first one with the get cars. You will see that this you have this URL here. So it says localhost, which is the server, and /API/cars. So this is the position where the controller is coming in. But if I use that one in the Postman, I have like this, I have a get, and I try to send here. So this is contacting the server and getting the cars. And now it's empty the database again, so we should just get the brackets, empty brackets. And you see, we get it here. And you get also, you could see the status here, 200, okay. So I could store this somehow, actually. Let's see how I'm doing that. Add request to this collection and create folders. Request name, get cars. And I want it to be part of the collection we created today and save to collections. So now you see I got one request here I could use now. So I have this the get cars and I just do the, oh, it didn't save it. What? That was strange. Oh. I thought it was saving it. I'm gonna do it again. Maybe I did something wrong. This is my request. Ah, save. Did it do anything? It should be saved. I hope so. Oh, this is actually working. This URL is working. So it's contacting the server and returning no data. So I wanted now to do another one. So I was curious here if I need to create a new one. This application has been changing a lot over the years, so I think it's the different look every time I use it. So so the next thing I want to do is a post. That is the create part. And the post is, I need to send some data into that. So I will need to get, I'm gonna tell, I'm just checking here. Now I need to take a look on my previous ones. It seems to be mixed somehow. So my post is a get, so this was no good. Because I was checking, because I'm gonna need some headers and a body. I'm gonna steal some data here, because you're supposed to know what you're sending in, so that you need to know from the beginning. So I'm gonna try to go back here and content type application JSON. I'm trying to create a new one here actually. So this is part of the header. And we're going to use application JSON. So we're telling what this HTTP call, what it is containing. So we're going to also need to send a body. And the body is actually the object we are sending to the API. So we're going to need to send it like raw. We will send it like a JSON object. We're not going to send any ID. We're just going to use the brand, model, and year. We could use this data and try to see if it's working. I'm just going to try it. So it's not working. 415 unsupported media type. That was no good. I made something wrong, maybe.
Didn't you select JSON as text? It was text format.
Yeah, I said that this application should maybe this would do it. I'll try again. Yeah, now it's working. Yeah, you're right, Lenny. I was missing the part saying we should be JSON. So this is the post. This is the create. So I will try to save it. I'm a little bit confused about this. If it's actually working. I try to add it to our new collection here. Okay, at least I have two now. I see that I have two different here, so. So we could actually do another car also, just to make sure that we maybe have two cars in the list now. And I just use the same API call, so. And you will see that I get a Volvo in the database. We could double check that with the database also, that it's correct. Do a refresh here. And you see, we have two cars now here. And the IDs are, we had the ID number 1 from the beginning, but we deleted it. So the next one it's created was ID number 2. So that's correct. So let's try the other parts also with this. We're gonna do another one with this put, which is the update. And the put was requiring an object and an ID in the URL. So I'm gonna update we could update this Volvo, for example. So this is ID number 3. And we're gonna say that it's from 1981 instead. I think we need the ID also inside here as an input parameter. Even if we have it up here in this put. So we are changing the Volvo to, I'm gonna try to save as here also to see that we have it in the correct. Also update car. And save it in today's collection. And we're gonna try to run it also to see if it's working. It did not work. Why didn't it work? 400 bad request. Yep, I see why. Anyone seeing why? It says here actually either expected comma or some sort of ending character, and I see that I'm missing this character. So let's try it again. This time I get a 204, no content returned, but it's 200 and it's okay. So now we should have a Volvo from 1981. I'm gonna save this. So this is updated with this data again. So if we check the get cars now, we should get 2 cars if we use that one. And you see we get this Opel and the Volvo from 81 that we changed. So this is correct also. We're gonna do the delete also. And the delete, we need to add the delete here. And we are just gonna send in this ID in the URL. I'm gonna delete the Volvo. We're not sending in anything in this. So I think we have like, okay, it's added 2 of this. We don't need any content type or application type inside here. We're just sending in a URL up here with this ID that is going to be deleted. And it knows it's the delete because of this HTTP type is delete. So I will save this as delete car. And we're going to save it into this collection. I'm going to try it to see if it's working also. I get the 204, no content back. It means okay. So I could try to get cars again and see what it's returning me. And it's only 1 car. So the delete is also working perfectly. And by this way, you could actually build your own questions that you want to try on your web API. So they will be stored here. So the next time you are using it, you could try this again and see how they are working. Or if you are doing some changes, you could try them with this tool. So this is a great tool to use. And this is really fast when you have made your URLs. You just need to go and change the data or the things you want to send in and so on. So you have everything stored. Do we have any questions on this? I feel my voice is disappearing soon.
Just one thought. I mean, the tutorial, there's we have to do a shitload of changes everywhere.
Yeah.
And installing in memory, etc., etc. But it seemed to be much easier to do it the way you did.
I did it my way.
Yeah. You and Frankie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's maybe some different reasons why they are doing some things also. Maybe I'm doing it in an easier way. So, but this is working also. So maybe you could have use of both sides of the information. Maybe something useful from this and from the tutorial also. Do you have any other questions?
I have one final one, then I will shut up. To get in the port, it's always best to use Swagger to figure that out. Or are there another way to figure out what localhost port to use?
You will have it in the code also in the properties launch settings. So you will see this port here. Did it answer your question, Lenny?
Yeah, if it's a constant, so next time I run it, it will be the same port.
Yes, if you have it in the settings, but if you remove it, it will be start. It could be mixed.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any more questions? Nothing. It's crystal clear as always. This is the best class ever. You are so good. This is only in dev, yes, Hadi. This is just in development. Otherwise, when you're installing it on the production server, it could be other settings that is needed that you don't. It's not up to you to decide it, maybe. So that is configurable things. But we are just using this in development now, so we are debugging and so on. But the same principle if it's in production also. Do we have any other questions? Tomorrow we're gonna use this API and we're gonna use the HTML page we had the other day, and we are gonna connect them together. So this HTML page could use this API, so we could have the cars screwed from that part also. So, but you know that, or you feel that you have things to do? Do you have still material to run?
Yes.
So there are a few links, so I think that should be enough. Okay, see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock then.
See ya.
Bye.